We are halfway through the month of May. Today we'll be discussing sneakers to resell in the remainder of the month, and if you're not into reselling, that's okay as well. You could use this guide to know what are going to be the most hype sneakers, the most limited, or even what popular general releases may potentially go on sale because, hey, we're all trying to save some money. Specifically, we'll be discussing the name of the sneaker, the retail, the release date, and whether the sneaker will be profitable or not, or if they may even sit on shelves resulting in a sale price. Be sure to subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you're always 100% updated on every profitable release. Also, be sure to follow my Twitter for urgent updates and info, Keith Adam 10, and also personals for you, such as the recent shock drops we've seen. To start, on May 13th for $225, the Jordan 2 Armanier was supposed to be dropping. As you saw in my recent video, however, these have actually been delayed due to an incident that occurred at their store, unfortunately. I do not know the precise date at the moment that they're rescheduled for, but I will, of course, keep you guys updated for that new precise date. Whenever they do end up dropping, though, regarding the resale, I do expect these to still be profitable with a decent to good margin, larger sizes being the best. For more in-depth analysis, you can feel free to watch my How to Cop guide on these. Also, for the 13th, we have the Dunk Low Rift Blue having their sneakers drop for $110, but some retailers have already released these. These should remain profitable with a very good margin. As usual, assume that large sizes for all these sneakers will perform the best, unless I do state otherwise. Lastly, for the 13th, we have the Air Force One Mid Stussy dropping for $150, or that might actually not be the case. I'll confirm that retail soon, but similar to how the other Stussy Air Force Ones initially performed, I would expect these to be profitable with a good margin. Nothing crazy, but not as good as the prices you see on those other pairs currently. Then on the 14th, the Yeezy 500 Granite will be dropping for $210. Similar to many recent 500s, I'm not expecting these to have much demand and thus are mostly just personals, unfortunately. At best, maybe a couple of dollars profit with a poor margin if you do have no tax. Also on the 14th for $190, the Jordan 11 7210 will be dropping. Unfortunately, these are mostly personals unless you have local buyers and you're still okay with a poor margin. Also on the 14th for $100, the Dunk Low Ocean will be dropping. These should be very profitable with a great margin. Demand is looking absolutely amazing at the moment for these. Also on the 14th, we have the Clot Jordan 5 Low Jade dropping for $200, but the main release will be on the 20th for these. As for the other retailers, Clot releases used to garner a lot of demand, but hype has certainly died down over time, as we've seen on the Sacai waffles or even the Air Max ones. Considering 5 Lows rarely ever garner any demand, I'm expecting the same outcome for these, primarily just personal pairs, especially after the high shipping Juice will be charging for these. Lastly, for the 14th, for $200, the Jordan 3 Neapolitan Dark Mocha will be dropping. Back in April, demand for these was looking very impressive, but unfortunately, that has not really held up very well. At the moment, it's looking like these have potential for lunch money with a poor margin, but not much more than that. Then on the 15th, the Jordan 6 Wash Denim will be dropping in grade school sizes. I'd expect these to just be personals as of now. Moving into the 16th, the Yeezy Slide Glow Green, Onyx, and Pure will all be restocking for $70 each, all of which will remain very profitable with a great margin thanks to that very low retail on each of them. So far, we've discussed a lot of really nice sneakers dropping in May, and we've got even more to go. You're going to be looking fresh if you wear some of these, but it's not always just about looks. Whether you're trying to look cool in front of your friends or maybe impress some women, it's important to appeal to all the senses. Hence today, I do want to share a word from the sponsor of today's video, and that is Scentbird. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service. Essentially, you get to choose a new designer fragrance to try out every month for just $16. No surprises. Scentbird reimagines everything about how people discover, shop for, purchase, and even experience these fragrances. It's flexible, so you can skip them any month without any penalties whenever you want. You can also upgrade to receive 2 or 3 products a month, although just one bottle should last you a month considering the generous amounts. With each fragrance, you'll get a 30-day supply. I personally love Scentbird because it allows me to try out tons of high-end fragrances without having to spend hundreds on the entire bottle. I love variety, and Scentbird really makes achieving that super easy, and it shows up right at my door. This month I ordered Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce because it's always reminded me of my childhood days of going to school dances or weddings with distant family, and it of course smells incredible too. I've noticed that of all the scents I've worn, this one tends to get the most compliments. Understandably so. Fierce is a bold blend of marine breeze, sandalwood, and sensual muskwood notes that emanates individuality. I also ordered Dolce&Gabbana, but that's mostly because Matthew McConaughey made it look pretty cool. Scentbird also surprised me with Mercedes-Benz Man and Cherry Punk from room 1015, both of which I've really enjoyed thus far. So if you do want to experiment with some of these designers and diversify like I do, make sure to click the link below and use my code KEITH55 for 55% off your first month at Scentbird. That's only about $7 for your first month. But with that said, let's get back to the May releases. Then on the 17th, the Dunk High Championship Red will be having their sneakers release in the US for $115. Although demand is rather low on these, the low retail still allows room for profitability with a poor to subpar margin. Then on the 18th, we will be seeing other retailers drop JJ Jown New Balance 990 V3 in brown for $250. I do expect these to remain profitable with a decent to good margin. Despite that high retail, these collabs typically do end up doing well. Then on the 20th, the Dunk Low Next Nature Arctic Orange will be dropping for $110. These should be profitable with a good margin as well. Then on the 21st, for $200, the Yeezy 700 V3 Fade Carbon will be dropping. Similar to other recent 700 V3s, I'd expect these to mainly just be personals, unless you have no tax and you're okay with the poor margins still. More importantly, on the 21st though, and perhaps my favorite drop this month, for $200, the Jordan 4 Military Black will be dropping. Demand on these is already looking great, and I'd expect it to hold up for these to be profitable in all sizes with a good margin, so full throttle for sure. Definitely need that personal for these. Then on the 23rd, for $185, the Off-White Air Force 1 Mid will be dropping in two colorways, black and white. Even though these are really out there to say the least, considering these are off-white, there will inevitably be some demand and most likely at least enough for lunch money with the subpar margin, or possibly even more than that. We will see as we do approach the release though. Also on the 23rd, we should be seeing the Jordan 8 Rui Hashimura finally released for $225 after multiple delays. Demand is still looking great for these, and they're expected to be quite limited as well. Despite the high retail, I would still expect these to be profitable with a subpar to decent margin. Then on the 25th, we should be getting the US drop for the Jordan 1 Heritage for $170. Unfortunately, they already bricked after the Europe drop though, so unless you do have local buyers, these are mainly just personal pairs. And the same goes for the Jordan 5 Easter, which drops on the 27th for $210, mostly just personals for these. And the same goes for the Jordan 5 Green Bean, which is returning on the 28th for $200 after a delay, and again, mostly just personals for these. Then sometime in May, but with no precise date just yet, the Yeezy Basketball Knit Slate Azure will be dropping for $260, and like the other shoes I just mentioned, these are also going to be personals. But anyway, that'll conclude it for today. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or perhaps if you learned a thing or two. Remember to check out the link in the description and use code KEITH55 to try out Scentbird. You get 55% off your very first month. So feel free to check out the links in the description below for reliable, fast, residential proxies and pre-verified Nike sneakers or Adidas accounts. Also, feel free to follow Endurance's Twitter for updates on restocks and key giveaways, and the same goes for Gargantua if you want to keep up with the progress or restocks. Last but not least, make sure to follow KeithAdam10 and personals for you. This way you guys stay updated on all urgent info like I was discussing today. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, good luck on all these upcoming releases.